Welcome to Stream, a trucktractortrailer.com production. I am Allan Anastasio, and today I am joined by Nelson Suarez, Business Development Manager over at Crossroads. Nelson, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Allan. Thank you. Been waiting quite a bit of while for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, we are super excited, not only, of course, to have you, and your expertise and advice on the show. But more importantly, we have a lot of really cool things happening between
Yeah.
Crossroads and Truck Tractor Trailer. We have some news that came out today, and we're going to continue to bring out some great news to our audience and our community throughout the week. So we're definitely excited about that and our partnership. But let's get down to the nitty gritty, Nelson. Like I said, we're so excited to have you and your expertise and experience and background on the show. But if you can, give us a little bit of background about yourself and and how you got into commercial financing.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you again, Allan, for the opportunity. For me, a little bit about myself. Once again, like Allan stated, Nelson Suarez. I come from financing since the late 90s. So I got into financing, Allan. I started in the auto industry. I did a little bit of collections, and I was getting my feet wet in the auto industry back in the late 90s, early 2000. And something about just numbers and finance in general that really caught my attention. But not just that, the benefit of it, of the other side, right? That excited customer of saying, how can you help me? And explaining to them how financing works in general, basic 101 that a lot of people in general, when they're making a large purchase, have no idea how it works. It's the first time around. So I honestly stayed a little late after hours. I went to the credit manager and I said, hey, do you mind if I stay after hours to understand the business from not just collections perspective, but from a finance and credit risk perspective? So I stayed after hours for about, maybe 6-7 months and learned the credit side. So I ended up getting out in the field and being a rep for the finance company that I worked for in the auto industry. So it was great times. I learned a lot. It's a different hustle. You're roaming the streets. You're learning from everybody. But not just that, understanding the type of needs, depending the type of geographic area or territory that you're coming through. Along that, took some good opportunities with from there with Citibank, and majority of my time was spent with Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, I did a little bit of everything. I gained a lot of my knowledge from there of how they do things. Obviously, a lot of people know Wells Fargo. But for me personally, I wanted to adapt and understand multiple departments within the large corporation that Wells Fargo is. So I got to take that opportunity. I believe I did about 9 roles within Wells Fargo.
Wow,
one of them was
impressive.
leasing and financing. So a little bit of everything, from auto to business management, business deposit, merchant services. So a little bit of everything, management. But the last, was finance and leasing with them. So it was a great opportunity. With that came obviously the opportunity to come to Crossroads, and it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. We have great leadership, but have learned a lot more in depth. Wells Fargo was a all-in-one shop, right? Not really focused on transportation. And what I like about Crossroads, and the great thing about Crossroads, is that's what they focus on. So we consider ourselves specialists in that type of market. But also, it's one of those things that I've learned a lot. Started late 2018, early 2019. Here we are, 2023, and it's been quite a journey. But just knowledge base. Like I said, I love helping people. I love interacting with people. You meet all types of people from everywhere. So it's great. It's multicultural. My staff, we have, from God, myself being Hispanic, speaking Spanish to our
Mm-hmm.
Latino community, saludos a todos, but it's one of those things that, Punjabi, also another big market, that we tailor to. So great opportunities, so that's a little bit of me
Awesome.
background.
No, that's great, Nelson. And, I think that's another great reason why, we really connected and hit it off in the beginning is because not only, was your background and your expertise really just a solidify really our trust in terms of, hey, this is a great partner. He knows and comes from a great background in terms of really just coming up from, up the ranks and understanding the true industry. Like you said, working, later hours to really understand that because I mean, just the buyer audience, right? You don't
Mhm.
the same buyer every day, right? There's always different types of buyers, different types of situations with them, different types of needs. And I think that's what Crossroad does a great job in. And so let's get back into that, into Crossroads. So I know Crossroads has been around for a while. You guys are a direct lender. Can you give me a little bit more background on kind of how Crossroads started, who you guys are mainly focused on, kind of what does your team look like? A little bit more about the company. That'd be great.
Sure. So Crossroads was established in 2006. Ever since, from what I hear, because obviously I wasn't here at that
Mm-hmm.
time, right? It started just as a mobile RV location.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in, also in, I'm not too sure what city it started, but that's how it started. It started real small,
Wow.
and eventually, built up the clientele. They got their system going, and it grew the
Mm-hmm.
team, right? It grew the team. Eventually, we are located now in the beautiful city of Rancho Cucamonga here in California,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in a beautiful building there. Um, but for Crossroads is, we're a little unique because, as I mentioned earlier, we do consider ourselves transportation experts.
Mm-hmm.
My team for direct sales, along with my upper management, they are phenomenal. They know the industry very well. I can't say I know everything, but it's nice to have that close relationship with our peers of saying, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know the answer, but let me walk down the hallway and I can get it for you. If we have that customer on the line.
Yeah.
We seek a lot of over the road customers. We help a lot of, your vocational, your truck drivers, your dump truck, agriculture, but not just that, we do a lot of large fleet, medium fleet, small fleet,
Mm-hmm.
but we also do help the mom and pop shops, right?
Yes.
The little man that we call, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time is a lot of the times is, from my experience since I've been there, we've seen that individual independent owner operator now grow because we've helped them and we've guided them of understanding how to utilize certain things, their credit, their cash flow,
Mm-hmm.
to have a good understanding about it. Now to grow, now they're small to medium sized fleet,
Mm-hmm.
they hire drivers, and so forth. But for Crossroads in general, we just basically consider our transportation experts, because that's what we want to focus on, and that is our main focus. If it's truck, trailer, we are there, and we try to help the public out as best as we can.
Yeah, no, that's really great to hear. Awesome little story. Really, I mean, starting up at the, really small, kind of remote mobile location to
Mhm.
really where you guys are at now. It's just really truly great to see. Now, Nelson, you mentioned that you guys were based out in California. Do you guys finance just in California, or so our audience knows, can you guys finance throughout the nation? What is that like?
No, the great thing, that's a great question, Allan. We used to focus more on California or surrounding states, right? But we saw the need, and we saw the need for to help more people, right? And in order to do that is our sales force would have to
Mm-hmm.
grow, so the great leadership that we have, that was their vision of, let's grow our sales force
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that we're capturing across the nation. So you don't have to live in California. You don't have to
Awesome.
operate in California as well as your business. We actually can finance anywhere across the states.
Wow, awesome. No, really
Mhm.
good to know that you're really able to help out really anytime, anywhere, for all our buyers. So really great. Let's talk about really what's everyone's been talking about is high interest rates, right? I think the
Yes.
current climate has been a little, a little shaky, unsteady in terms of the market conditions because of interest rates. But for you, like I said, what is let's ask the expert, what's the reading that on your end? I mean, what is this market condition like for you right now? What does that look like?
Well, it's one of the things coming from the mortgage industry, right? Mortgage rates are high as well. I mean, I remember when my parents were, buying a mortgage, and my dad, I think had a 19 or 20% rate, in the late 70s,
Hmm.
Um, but it's one of those things, it impacts across the board. But for us, we're just, we do see high interest rates. It's just a current trend that we're seeing, with the Feds keeping on raising, the rates.
Hmm.
We watch the treasuries very closely. We try to offer the best rate, but at the same time, it has to make business sense, right? But at
Hmm.
the best rate that we have possible to all our customers. What we try to do and help customers is educate them, because a lot of people just see a monthly payment, or a lot
Hmm.
of people are just focused on that rate. But we tell them the benefit of that, right? Are you a first time buyer? Are you a returning customer? We can consolidate as well.
Hmm.
If you have other payments, we can consolidate it for you. But at the same time, is we try to structure the best fit for that client. As you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
everything's a la carte, right? Everybody has a different
Hmm.
situation. So base, it's very important to listen to the customer and
Hmm.
understand their need, because
Yeah.
you might be payment savvy, another customer might be rate savvy, you
Hmm.
know but when we have a rate savvy customer, the best way, how we explain it to them is tell them, hey, the term is going to be a
Hmm.
major factor, or what also help you save some money is making a larger down payment. And it only benefits them because they're
Hmm.
starting with a good amount of equity in the asset that they're purchasing. So
Yeah.
we anticipate for now, the Feds are supposed to meet up again. We might have
Hmm.
another, 25 basis points increase. Not sure, but I might guess it is going to happen. But right now, it's one of those things that we just kind of, try to make it best fit for the customer as best as possible. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to set them up for failure, right? We
Yeah.
want to
Of course.
ensure, ask all the questions up front that are proper, that make business sense, because it has to be a two-way street,
Hmm.
but be transparent. We have to be
Yes.
transparent with the customer and let them know, this is what you're facing, right? You still have to consider your insurance, your
Hmm.
registration. Diesel's high right now, as we know. Spot rates are very low.
Hmm.
But it's one of those things that we're just seeing in the industry right now, that unfortunately we have to try to adapt to what's at hand. Eventually, it will get better. It's
Yep.
we see the trend, right? It goes
Hmm.
up, down
Yeah.
every so often. But I think right now, it's the best thing we can do for them is try to make them come as comfortable as we can with the monthly payment that we're offering.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And your team does an excellent job over there at Crossroads on being able to, I mean, you can't fit a square peg into a round hole, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
just not gonna, and I mean, given these market conditions, there are people out there that try to do that. And you're right, it's not the best for the customer, right? It's not really suitable, affordable, or really, without all that education. I think that's a big part in terms of what you guys do well, is that educational part, right? Even though as you mentioned, they might have to put a bigger down payment, right? The value of
Mhm.
in the end is going to benefit them more, right? Maximizing their profit. So, I think that's a great thing that you guys do that, individually for each customer. I think that's why, we chose you as a partner, because of that full transparency. At the end, they're going to know who sold them, the rate
Right.
and the funding, right, and all
Right.
that. So by doing that, being upfront, I think a lot of customers really appreciate that more. That we're kind of laying it out all in front of them and having them make the best decision, given all those advice and values that your team provides them. So that's a really great win-win
Yeah,
for
and like
that.
like
Yeah.
I said, yeah, and it's we our thought is not we think big, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
start as a we're big on water the seed, right? You want to
Yep.
water the seed and watch it grow. So that's our same model with our customers. We're here to help you build, not just a day to day operating business. We want to help you build an empire. Because a lot of trucking companies, it's inherited, from
Mm-hmm.
family member.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot. My uncle did this, my dad did this, now I'm his son and I have the sons calling in now, but at the same time, it's not the turn and burn model that we want. Is
Mm-hmm.
more of a let's educate you up front. What is your 6, 12, even up to
Mm-hmm.
5 year plan of where do you want to be, so that way we know how to guide them, because at the end of the day we want that repeat business. We
Yeah.
want to guide them, because it's crucial. It's a great start to a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these truckers, they just, as I mentioned, it's inherited, or that's all they know. They just know driving. But when it comes down to the business side of it, the just business finance in
Mm-hmm.
general, they have no idea. They just know, hey, I got to go pick out a truck, I got to pick out this nice shiny trailer, and where do I go from here? Or somebody told me I can get loads here. So I
Yeah.
tell them, do your homework. It's not as
Mm-hmm.
easy as it looks, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, we need goods, and it is a demanding um uh, industry, because people, the way I look at it, being in this industry, I go to the supermarket. How did it
Mm-hmm.
get to the shelf, right?
Exactly.
It's Halloween's here. How did all this Halloween stuff get here? So it's very crucial. I always, when I see honestly, I see a driver getting some lunch or something, I sometimes treat them or thank them, because at the end of the day, it's their hard work. They're away from families for a good period of time if they're not local. But it doesn't matter the weather, right? They're in snow trying to hook up that trailer, right? They're trying
Mm-hmm.
to put snow chains on their tires, but it's a brutal industry. Not just that, just the sit time
Mm-hmm.
of just being behind the wheel. So kudos to them, because they deserve it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you are 100% right. I mean, the owner operators, small fleets, they really keep America moving, right? They keep a lot of, our products and goods that we utilize on a daily basis to, they get it to our doorstep, right? So that's such a big thing. And, what's really great also about, our platform and, having Crossroads on our platform as our partners is, the one-stop shop, right? Being able to work with one team, right? Being able to work with one team to be able to manage a lot of their things that they can't manage on a daily basis because they're so busy running their business operations, right? So, you guys build that trust and we help build that trust. And we really kind of more of a really kind of an offshoot or, an extra hand to help these businesses continue to grow. So I think that's a really great thing that you guys offer that.
Yeah,
Let's,
that's, sorry
yeah.
to cut you off, Alan, but no, that's good. Like you mentioned earlier as well, it's one of those things that, I think our relationship started very well. I just don't consider you guys as a good partner, but, me and you, I mean, we talk often. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a good friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things that, it was easy to make the transition because we both had the same goal in mind. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're here to serve the community. We're here to serve the customer. What's in best interest, not what to be selfish, and what's in best interest for us in general. But I think that was an easy transition. And trust me, when I say we're super excited because we have that vision,
Mm-hmm.
that we're not trying to persuade you guys one way or you guys are trying to persuade us a different way. But we see the end goal, right? We know what we're
Yeah.
trying to achieve. And I think we can get there. But I think we're just getting our feet wet right now, and the sky's the limit for us, I believe.
Yeah, no, I truly believe that too, as well. And like they say, people helping people, it's a powerful thing,
Yep,
right? So,
it is.
let's talk. There's a before we end here. I know there's a couple more quick questions that we want to get out of the way that
Sure.
we want to talk about. Is one of the KPIs that we talk about, and we have that here too, is and we like to say here, Truck Tractor Trailer is the largest pool of pre-qualified buyers. And we know that we found a really good partner in you guys, because I know that is a major KPI for Crossroads and your team. Tell me a little bit about that. How do you guys work that, pre-qualified, how does that work, on your end? And kind of tell me a little bit more about that process.
Sure. That's a great question, because a lot of people don't know, right? They're used to the traditional, I have to go to a dealership, let me drive down there, as far as it is, might be local, might
Mm-hmm.
be distant, or give them a call, go there, fill out an application. That's usually the traditional way. I know I did it like that with my parents, but we wanted to make it more accessible and ease the process of how, as I stated, the direct sale has been established since 2019. So one of our biggest challenge was to get that word out there, get the word out there that said, hey, just as you were to, on the consumer side, go to your credit
Mm-hmm.
union and get pre-approved. So you have an understanding, and it's very crucial. So you have an understanding of what you qualify for, because, you
Mm-hmm.
can be seeing this nice, shiny black car, that's $50,000, but then when you apply, right, I only qualify
Yeah,
for 30,000, right?
different story.
So, oh, right, of course. So, we wanted to get the word out. We've done a great job with our marketing team getting that
Mm-hmm.
word out there. But I call it purchasing power, because honestly, that's what it is. Just a convenience, and to make it very, very easy. So our word out to the customer, in many ways, is we want to pre-qual our customers as much as possible. The reason why is we get some education out of the way as well, that they
Mm-hmm.
might not know of. They will explain to them the process, and with us is fill out a simple form. We get them pre-qual. They don't have to have an asset picked out. It has to be at least minimum of 5 years, 500,000 or less than 500,000
Mm-hmm.
miles. Um, but it's one of those things that, we get them pre-approved. They can shop anywhere. They can shop private party. They can shop at a vendor local to
Mm-hmm.
California. They can shop outside of California. If they're shopping online, they see something in Texas, Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
Florida. It doesn't matter to us, right? At the end of the day, they call us and they said, hey, I found what I'm looking for. They put us in contact with that seller that has the
Mm-hmm.
assets. And it's that simple. And we tell the customer, we'll take it from here. We'll circle back with you, and we'll fill you in with other necessary information that is needed on your behalf. But we just try to make it easy. We don't try to get complicated with anything, right? It's a one-page document that the customer
Mm-hmm.
has in hand, and they can walk in with that confidence of, what, I'm here to buy. And not just that, it lets the seller know, hey, this person's serious, right? They already
Yeah.
did their homework, they already did their due diligence, and now they're coming in their actual shopper instead of they're not a
Mm-hmm.
tire kicker for sale,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So it goes a long way. And not just that, a lot of it, like I said, it's educational, right?
Mm-hmm.
We educate the customer, we let them know the differences. Sometimes customer says, hey, Nelson, I have, 2, 3 trucks. I can't even make up my mind, not a problem. We're here to
Mm-hmm.
help. We lay out 2, 3 options for them. Once again, we want them to be successful, because if
Mm-hmm.
they're successful, guess what? They're going to come back to us, to me and
Exactly.
you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Exactly.
win-win. It's a win-win. So, we tell them, show them the structure, show them the payments, the down payments. But pre-approvals is something very easy, and I recommend everybody to do it. So that way you're not wasting your time. If you see a
Yeah.
$200,000 truck and now you only qualify for 120,000, you don't want to waste your time, because at the end of the day, in trucking, you make money on the road. You don't make money
Mm-hmm.
shopping or when you're off the road, right?
Exactly.
You know, like they say, money never sleeps. So unfortunately, you know, they have to up and go, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a good process, and we educate our customers on it 110% of the time, because it's just easier. Some of them ask, do I apply until I find something? Well, you know, a lot of the time some customers do that, and we tell them, hey, you have the option to do that. They might be shopping, but guess what? The truck they liked is already sold,
It's not
you know, and now
exactly.
they're like, well, I have to go shop somewhere else. So that's where the understanding comes of, you know, why it's good idea to get pre-qualified.
Yeah, no, I mean having that's spot on. Having that purchasing power, that buying
Mhm.
power really motivates you, right? And kind of understands, okay, hey, this is my budget and this is kind of what I'm looking at. Not only do we have the education from your team and your side, but you know, from Heather and our contact center and our team, being able to, you know, right there, you know, with that handoff, be able to work with that pre-approval and that buyer to find the best you know, unit or units, right, that could maximize their
Yeah,
profits, you know, continue to keep them making more money, right? Get them on the road, you know, fitting, you know, the client's needs, you know, all while they're, like I said, like you said, you know, kind of, you know, on, you know, sitting there wherever they are on the road, you know, at home, you know, so they can continue to keep doing their business. So, you know,
yeah.
pre-qualification is such a great thing
Yeah.
on
And it's
that
valid
side.
for, you know, it's valid for 90 days. So we tell
90
customers, you
days.
know, a lot of the customers just say, you know, how long is it valid for? We advise them it's 90 days, you know, because a lot of these customers say, well, I'm not really in the market. But what does happen a lot, and it's funny because it does happen often, you know, we
Hmm.
give them the prequal and they're driving somewhere, right? They're driving
Yep.
through, whether they're working or whatever in their personal
Yeah.
vehicle, and it just catches your eye, you know. Oh, I just saw a trailer. Oh, I just saw, you
Hmm.
know, this truck that I like, you know. So like I said, it happens, you know. So like I said, as it's a good thing that if they have it in hand, it's a lot easier
Hmm.
to move forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. If we can put everything necessary in front of them and in their hands to make that decision right then and there, we're really just, you know, shortening the conversion, you know, rate for sales there, you know.
Mhm.
So the quicker we can get that information in front of them, the more that, you know, they have it in right in their hands, ready to kind of at a snap of the finger, the quicker they're going to buy that unit or purchase that unit. So, you know,
Yep.
that's really great stuff. Awesome.
Yep.
Um, Nelson, you know, before we wrap here, is there anything else that you want to, you know, kind of let our audience and our buyers know about, you know, your team in Crossroads, you know, how they can contact you, where they can find you guys at? Give us a scoop.
Yeah, no, honestly, you know, like as I mentioned earlier, we're located in Rancho Cucamonga, you know, here in California. Uh, we uh, we are basically the direct sales department. You know, we're a phone call away. CRlease .com is our landing page. We'll add some info on the video, but it's one of those things that they can call us directly. They can ask us with any questions. It's not just to call to, honestly, if they want, you know, questions regarding local, like as mentioned,
Hmm.
vocational, over the road, agriculture, um, any questions that they have, small or large questions. We're happy to help. That's the point of us here, right? We
Awesome.
want to ensure that we're answering and serving a purpose to the public, because that's the end goal here. I have a team of, you know, of four for on the our sales sides, direct sides, and then we have a concierge that also, you know, does a great job. You know, her name's Caroline, and she's amazing. You know, any customer that calls in, you know, she's on it. Any customer after they even purchase anything, she's the first call out, you know, to go over their contracts, tell them additional insurances that we offer, you know, SBA, anything that we offer in
Hmm.
general, because at the end of the day, we want to earn all their business. But she does a great job with follow up, and not just that, educating the customer, simple things of how do I
Hmm.
make my payments online? When should I be expecting my invoices? Things
Awesome.
like that,
Yeah.
that I believe it's very important, especially for a new customer of ours. They
Hmm.
should be well educated on how Crossroads does things, you know. But no, like I said, you know, I hope we get a lot of calls, because like I said, my team's eager, to help alongside you guys. But yes, like I said, that's our small department, but it's a very impactful department. That's what I tell everybody.
Awesome. No, great to hear, Nelson. And we are super excited too to really see where this partnership goes. I know it's going to really take off and be a rocket ship. So we're super excited to continue
Yep.
that. And thank you for stopping by the studio today. It's always a pleasure to to talk to you and hang out with you. And thanks again for giving us the rundown on Crossroads. And we're excited. So once again, Nelson, thanks again for being on stream, and we'll catch you next time.
Okay, Allan. Thank you.